Hello, and welcome back to this IES Environmental Policy video series. This video is part of our wider collection of bite-sized videos, bringing environmental science insights into the world of policy in 10 minutes or less. As part of our first series on land and soil management, we're going to be looking at the ways that environmental policy shapes the underappreciated natural system of soils, drawing on the policy report published by the IES back in October 2020. That report reminds us how crucial soil resources are and tells us why environmental policy decisions have failed to appreciate soil in the past. That means that if we're looking to build a brighter future going forward, we have to start with strong foundations, and that means looking at the land we live on. But if soil is so valuable, and if it has so much to offer to our society, why are these resources still underappreciated? What are the challenges to finding answers? And why are we facing so many risks for the future sustainability of the natural world of soils? We'll jump straight into the heart of those questions with one of the simplest and most intuitive answers. Many of us just don't know enough about the natural world around us. The last 3 videos have taught us all about the roles soil can play in human society and the benefits soil resources can provide. We've learned all about the interlinking natural crises affecting our climate, nature, and society, as well as how soil can help us fight back. However, most of society doesn't share that knowledge. We have the unique privilege of knowing the strength of our natural world, which we should share whenever possible. For now, though, recognition of the value of soil and the role it can play in fighting back against crises is limited. Even within scientific communities, there are still questions which are hard to answer. There is no one-size-fits-all way to assess the quality of soil, which may depend on different qualities, indicators, or measurements of an individual soil resource. Often, the definitions we have are vague, poorly defined, or very heavily driven by single uses which are trying to extract from soil, or specific risks which we are trying to avoid. That presents us with a challenge when we want to gain multiple benefits from soil, or when we want to ensure that soil resources are protected against long-term threats, which may not be immediately obvious. It also means that many of those who need to work together to find solutions to the threats facing soil, such as scientists, politicians, practitioners, and businesses, often disagree about what our goal should be or how we can measure success. Another issue with our knowledge about soil is that there are many emerging challenges which we know very little about, where we need more research to properly protect soil from these new threats. Issues like microplastics entering soil are only now beginning to become clear, and without more research, we may struggle to help safeguard our soils before these challenges become too great to resolve. Meanwhile, there are a number of problems facing how soil is treated by our agricultural systems. Farmers may be managing the land, but more often than not, they're also working to make their livelihoods, so they are often driven to follow the money that they can earn. Historically, to ensure a stable supply of food, payments have been made to farmers to support the increased productivity of agriculture, notably through the European Union's Common Agricultural Policy. This has previously led to more intensive farming practices and overtaxed natural resources. The side effect for soil has been widespread degradation, an upsetting of the natural nutrient balance in agricultural soils, and the loss of many of the potential benefits which those soil resources could have provided for nature and humanity. As the world, including countries both in and out of Europe, looks to ways to reform agricultural payments, the health of soil must be safeguarded. Similarly, when environmental assessments are made of the quality of soil on specific sites, they often only go far enough to manage the risks from expected pollutants, rather than actively seeking to enhance the health and quality of soil on our land. There are also challenges for long-term environmental thinking coming from the competing interests associated with land use. As the value of our land increases, so too do the number of landowners treating the land as a financial asset. Because the health of soil is rarely a factor in the value of land itself, it isn't prioritised by landowners who intend to sell on their property. In the context of widespread housing crises, the end result can also be further sealing and compacting of soil in subsequent developments. That situation is made worse for tenant farmers, many of whom may want to invest in environmental practices, but currently lack the certainty they need that the land they farm will not be sold off by their landlord to be used for other purposes. In the face of limited understanding, complicated interconnecting crises, and the vast number of people who interact with the soil over the course of their work, we need more regulation of the ways that we treat our soil and our natural world. We also need more money to be invested in keeping soil safe, aligning the interests of the private sector with the best interests of humanity and the environment. Without more regulation and the expectation of funding, it will be hard to bring together all those we need to ensure a brighter future for our soils. And when it comes to bringing about the changes we need, there are challenges presented by the interaction between science and decision makers. Politics and policy are often slow, especially on technical issues with limited public awareness. There are competing issues demanding attention, as well as competing perspectives on environmental issues, which may distract from science-led approaches. In some cases, decision makers have not recognized the importance of healthy soils, and so have not taken actions needed to help protect soils for the future and defend the natural world. But in the face of these challenges, is there still something we can do? How can we act to protect these crucial resources? And are there ready-made solutions to help drive action forwards? We'll be answering those questions and more as we continue with this IES policy series on land and soil management. But if you want to get an inside track on the answers, you can read all about it in our recent policy report, Sustainable, Healthy and Resilient, Practice-Based Approaches to Land and Soil Management, which is available on the IES website. You'll find a link to the report in the details below, along with our social media and a link to the IES website. Make sure you follow us across platforms so that you're up to date with all our latest events, videos, and CPD opportunities. And remember to like the video, share it with friends and colleagues, and let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Join us again for another short video in our policy series on land and soil management. But for now, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.